What's up, guys? Daniel here. I just finished my first ruck of the month, and I know I'm a day behind what I said I would be, and now 2 days behind the the month's total. I can't talk right now, sorry. So I'm gonna say that tonight was a little bit of a reality check for me. I was planning on starting with 8 miles, looking to do 8 miles in 2 hours, just to kind of get the feel of my pace again, because it's been about a little over a year now since I've had to do any walking with a significant amount of weight on my back, and it's been a good bit longer than that I've actually done a timed ruck march. So tonight I was doing half-mile loops around my apartment complex. A couple of decent hills in the complex, one on either side. It was pretty good. Temperature was great tonight. I had 35 pounds in my ruck. So I used, let me show you guys my setup real quick here if I can get it. So, move into the light for you. Alright, I don't know how to turn my camera around from this. Anyways, so here's everything that I was using tonight. Raven might come get in here. Alright, so this is my GoRuck GR0, which is now the 20-liter GR1. Watch out. They don't make the GR0 anymore. They make the 20-liter GR1, the exact same bag, just with a different label in it. As you can see, I have my patch from my first event here, the 9/11 Tough event from Athens, Georgia in 2015. Amazing event, but we'll get into that stuff later. So, don't laugh because there is a pillow in here, but I'll get into that. So, I had my water source here, Nalgene, full of water. I have my filler, which is just a little throw pillow. And I have that because I have my ruck weight. So I have a 30-pound plate here from GoRuck that I use as my weight, and then the water weight kind of makes it so about 35 pounds, a little bit under 35. I don't know exactly, I'd have to weigh it out, but I don't really care about hitting exactly 35 pounds. I'm not going for EIB, long past those days. Then while we're down here, so I'm using the Injinji Sport toe socks. They actually worked out great. It's my first time using toe socks, and they felt great. Gonna take some getting used to having things between your toes, but it definitely helps keep the skin to skin friction down, so should help with blisters throughout the month. Well, I hope so. And then wearing my trusty GoRuck Mac V1s, which I had with me in Afghanistan. As you can see, still plenty of tread, even though I wore them all year in Afghanistan. They look a little bit worn, but it's perfect. They're perfectly broken in. They weigh nothing. Tie perfectly tight. Love everything about them. So, that's what I'm carrying every day. So yeah, just a little intro to the whole rucking thing, I guess, for those of you who aren't familiar. And its simplest explanation, rucking is walking with weight on your back. See, it's a military thing. That's how combat arms move stuff around. We put a bunch of weight on our back and we walk. Sometimes very far, sometimes very fast, sometimes both. So that's where that comes from. It's a great form of exercise, great cardio. Really works your legs, your hips, your glutes, your calves, everything. And again, it's cardio that isn't running, so I'm a fan of that because I hate running, which is why I'm not trying to run this month. That's why I'm choosing to ruck. Instead, also, rucking is a little bit closer to home for me. So I think it's going to kind of get me in. So let's talk about why I only did 6 miles tonight. I don't know if I said that. So I ended up doing 6 miles tonight instead of the 8 that I'd planned on. But I did those 6 miles in an hour and 15 minutes. So came out of the gate pretty hot. I'm not used to pacing myself with a ruck on my back. because, like I said, it's been a while, almost 2 years, I guess, since I really was on a timed ruck right before deployment. It's about a year and 9 months. So yeah, that's I think that was my big. I gassed myself way early on because I was flying out the gate. It was 6 miles, hour and 15 minutes, about 15 minutes ahead of the pace that I was shooting for. Should have done a better job keeping track of that at the beginning and keeping myself in a maintainable pace, because again, it's been, almost 2 years, so it's going to take some getting used to it again on my part. Another reason I love rucking instead of running. Running, I can never just like clear my head and run. I have to think about my breathing and my fucking pace and all that stuff. And not sorry about the language that you're going to hear in some of this, because that's just how I talk and who I am. So, welcome to my life. If you don't like it, stop watching, I guess. I've got thick skin, so the rest of you can grow some too while we're at it. So, pace, big thing that I need to focus on. It's going to be tough for me to reach the goal that I set for myself. I definitely realized that tonight, especially if I'm not paying closer attention to my pace and I end up gassing myself, because I got to get back into the rhythm of rucking. It's been a long time. I don't think it'll take me too long to get back in the rhythm, but I'm going to be working uphill. That being said, I'm not going to use that as an excuse to drop my goal. I'm not going to lower my goal. My mileage will stay what it is right now. I'm not going to use my poor planning as an excuse to lower the standard that I've set for myself. I'm going to keep pushing myself to reach that every day. That's just kind of my outlook on things. Not gonna drop the standard down just so I can meet a comfortable standard. I'm gonna hold what I set for myself, and I'm gonna push myself to try to get there. And if I do, then I do, and if I don't, then I failed myself, and we'll keep pushing until we get better. That's what it's all about. It's getting better, and that's what this whole month is about. It's about getting better, being a better human to our neighbors, being better to ourselves, especially. So, kind of getting into the why of things here, which is another reason I love rucking. Again, can't clear my head when I'm running. When I'm rucking, I can just kind of zone out and ruck. Yeah, sometimes I'll focus on, okay, I need to push myself. I need to move a little bit faster. I need to take bigger strides, stuff like that. But I can kind of clear my head and just be with my thoughts. Tonight I was listening to music because I was just trying to get back into the feel of things. But even with music playing in my ears, I can still kind of, think to myself while I ruck. So just kind of thinking about the why, and didn't get too deep tonight. Not going to get too deep in video number 1. We got plenty of time for that. But yeah, so the why for this month specifically is to spotlight men's health, specifically men's mental health, because among other issues, it's probably the biggest thing that men find it hard to get help with. There are things like prostate cancer, testicular cancer, stuff. That stuff isn't talked about as much. So men don't get checked, that kind of thing. It's not like I think something's wrong with me, but I'm going to ignore it, and we end up dying of prostate cancer. Sometimes that's the case, but a lot of times it's just because it's not something we all think about. We don't get checked. It sneaks up on us. By the time we realize we have it, it's too late. So as far as things like that go, get checked regularly when you're supposed to. Be familiar with the signs and symptoms of testicular cancer, prostate cancer, all that kind of stuff. Pay attention to your body. If your body's telling you something's changed or something's wrong, listen to it. Go to a doctor. Talk to a doctor. But spotlight on mental health this month. And we'll get pretty personal. Not yet. Not going to get personal yet. Not super personal yet. Obviously, mental health issues are a huge thing in my life. Having been in the military for 10 years, having been a firefighter and paramedic for 5 years, I have seen a lot of things and been around a lot of people who have seen a lot of things that they find hard to handle. And not necessarily that they think it's hard to handle because they're weak, but because we see a lot of things that the average human doesn't see. You see people on the worst days of their lives. You see the worst side of humanity. And that takes a toll on a person. So, yeah, that stuff in your brain builds up, and if you don't have a healthy outlet for it, it can really become an issue. And I think, obviously this isn't just a men's problem. This is an everyone problem, but this month we're going to focus on the male aspect of it, because that's what this month is about. And obviously it's a big deal to me, because I want my fellow men to be happier, healthier human beings. So, yeah. So, things that, let me back up a little bit and say that everyone handles stress differently. Everyone handles life differently. Life happens to everyone. I know that. Everyone knows that. Things happen in everyone's lives that affect them differently than they would affect a different person going through the exact same thing. That's just the way we're built. No two people are the same. No two people are going to cope the same way, and they're not going to handle seeing the same thing the same way. And because of that, it's important for us to realize when we're not using healthy coping mechanisms, or when something is weighing heavily on us, it's important to reach out to someone. Even if you're not suicidal, if you feel something weighing heavily on your mind or on your soul, the best thing to do is to say something to someone, even if it's not a professional at first. I'm not saying go to a therapist because, something's stuck in your head that's, wearing on you or whatever. Although therapy's not bad. And that's another thing this month is we're going to talk about removing the stigma from therapy. Everybody can benefit from therapy. We'll get into that later. But, the most important thing that anybody can do, that is the scariest thing to do, and sorry, you're going to hear Raven drinking water in the background. She's very loud. That is the scariest thing for everyone to do, is to say something to someone, even if it's your best friend. Sometimes it's the hardest to reach out to your best friend and say, hey, I need to talk to you, because, no one wants to lay something heavy on someone else. That's the way we're built. We don't want to put our burdens on someone else, especially as men, because we think that we should be strong enough to handle it on our own. Well, guess what, guys? Sometimes you're just not. And that's not to say that you're weak. Weakness is a non-issue here. We're not saying that, that you're weak by reaching out for help. I'm just saying anyways, all this we stuff. I am saying that sometimes it takes an awful lot of strength to reach out and take help from someone, from anyone, whatever kind of help that is, and whatever help means to you. It could just mean, an ear. You just need to say something to get it out of your mind, to get it off of your chest, to, be able to take that deep breath and say, wow, all right, let's start moving on from that. Whatever that might be, again, not getting specific, not getting personal yet, just anything that's going on in your life that is weighing on you in any way, shape, or form. What I'm going to focus on this month is that it's okay to not be okay. Being too strong to ask for help is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. I've seen it take too many lives, far too many lives. And every single one of those was avoidable. Something could have been done for those people, and they would still be around loving the people who loved them. So yeah, that's what this month is going to be about. I'm going to try to check in as much as I can, either write Facebook posts or do videos like these. Usually probably after my rucks, after I've kind of had some time to think on things myself, I'll sit down and do this. I'll talk with you guys. They might not all be, 15 minutes long. Might keep some of them shorter, some might run longer, That's just how this month is going to be. But I want to be loud, and I want everyone to be loud with me. So please share this video. It's going to be on my YouTube. It's going to be on my Facebook. I'm going to put links to it on my Twitter, on everything. So please, please, please share this message. Even if you're not donating to my Movember fund. You know, that's not even what this is about. Yes, it's great that I can help raise money for a great organization to help fund even better organizations. You know, I would appreciate all the help that I can get from that. But really what this is about is just being loud about these issues, about putting spotlights where things have been left in the dark for far too long. So again, I urge you, please share this with all of your friends. Get everybody involved. Let's start talking about it. And let's be loud, please. Be loud with me however you can, whatever that means to you, to help out in whatever way you see fit. But this is something that I take very seriously. It's very near and dear to my heart. So, and again, we'll get more personal, a little bit heavier later on. For now, though, thank you guys to everyone who's already donated, everyone who's already on board with me here, sent words of encouragement my way. I appreciate it. It's felt. I really, really love you all. And until next time, thanks for stopping by.